Hello again. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I make some quick and simple cards just using a paper pad, some VersaFine ink, and some stamp sets, and as well as some pre-cut cards. These could be any size you wish. I'm using the smallest one. And you can use pretty much anything you have on hand, any stamp sets. I'm currently using the Unity Wilbur kit, which I featured in a previous video, and they're indie girl. I really like their stamp sets because they are super detailed and the VersaFine ink works well. So here we go. So I started by selecting 3 different colors and I used a rectangle die that will fit in the back of the card. You can see the little edges there, and you can pretty much do this with any shape, but this is your basic rectangle shape that's easy to work with. And I always check to make sure that it fits the size of the card that I'm using. And that's what you'll see me do here, just so that you can kind of get an idea of where it fits. For this technique, I'm going to be using my stamping aid or tool. This one is from Tonic Studios, Tim Holtz. And I really like it because you can use both rubber and clear stamps. And so this is going to help with my stamping because I need the image to be stamped in the exact same spot for each one of the rectangles. So I'm just positioning how I want it to look, and then I use the magnets to hold my paper in place and get myself set up for stamping. Now that I have the stamps where I want on my piece, I'm going to go ahead and attach that there to the other side of the platform. And then I always like to do a test run with a sheet of paper and the ink that I'm using just to see how it comes out and make sure that all the parts are looking good. And as you can see, it came out exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to go back, put my paper on there, re-ink my stamp, and continue this process for all 3 panels. I'm only showing the one, and I had a little snafu there. But I'm doing this for all 3 of those paper panels. And this is what I like about the stamping tool because you can go back and make it darker if you should miss any spots. So as you can see, there are all my little piggies there stamped in the exact same spot. And what I'll be doing is I'm going to be cutting them into 3 strips, equal in length as possible. I'm using painter's tape to hold them in place so that I can cut them. In hindsight, I should have used a slider cut as opposed to the guillotine because some of my strips came out a little skewed, but it still worked out for what I wanted. But you can measure it, and if you want to get it as precise as you can. You can also use the same technique using shapes, which I have a video on that one as well, using the same technique. So as you can see, all of my pieces have been cut and I'm just arranging them like little puzzles with different colors on them. And they all fit and match perfectly because they're all the same size and they've been stamped in the same spot. For this panel, I'm going to be using painter's tape to kind of hold the pieces together. And then I'm going to add some tape to the back, double-sided tape, so that I can add it to the panel. I did it a different way and you'll see that in a moment. So now that I have all the adhesive in the back, I'm going to just go ahead and plant it on there. As you can see, it held on pretty well, but it wasn't 100% perfect. So my second attempt, I did each piece individually. and it came out a lot neater, a lot cleaner. And I'm going to go ahead and use a bone folder to make sure everything sticks and is flat. And here are all my little piggies, perfectly lined up. And I like this technique because you can use pretty much any paper scraps that you might have left over and any stamps as well. You can certainly embellish these, but I like the way they came out. Pretty simple and straightforward, and you can do it quite a bit in a short amount of time. This is a great technique to use, especially if you're starting out with making cards. Here are some of my close-up shots of my little piggies. I hope you give this a try. Thank you for joining me so much. Greatly appreciated. Have a great day.